Alright guys, welcome back. I'm here to do a little follow-up video to my first video about the Honda CRV oil dilution problem. So when I left you last time, I had made my appointment to have my CRV fixed by Honda, even though I wasn't personally experiencing any of the problems. A lot of you reached out to me in the comments and in messages and told me about the problems that you're having with your CRV. Well, I went ahead and solved my problem before it actually became a problem, because the writing's on the wall that eventually, sooner or later, this will probably affect most of these engines. So yeah, I traded in the CRV and got rid of it. So I guess my advice is sell. Well, maybe not in your case, but honestly, I refuse to be Honda's little experiment, and I had a lot of reservations about buying the CRV in the first place because it had a turbocharged engine and it had a CVT transmission. Two things which I figured would be a recipe for disaster, but I was like, hey, it's a Honda, I shouldn't have to worry about it. So in reality, in my case, Honda kind of won. I traded in my CRV and I bought a brand new 2019 Honda Pilot. So was that the right decision? For me it was. For you, maybe not so much. Really, in my case, Honda's the winner. I ponied out more money and bought another brand new vehicle. I guess that's just how much I like Honda that I'm willing to give one of their other vehicles a try. In this case, the Pilot has a tested and true 3.5 liter V6 non-turbocharged engine that has already proven itself to be a very reliable choice. And it's mated to a 6-speed conventional automatic transmission that's been around for quite a few years, and all the bugs seem to be worked out of it as well. Alright, so let's hope that this decision doesn't come back to bite me in the rear end like the CRV did. Like I said, I actually did not have any problems with my CRV, but it's evident that eventually it probably would be a problem. And Honda's fix, from everything that I've seen so far, is not working for people. It's making it so you get heat if you don't have heat, because it lets the engine heat up more before it allows the heater to start doing its thing, but it's still, people's oil levels are rising and it's not a true fix. In fact, in China, even though it's supposedly a slightly different engine, the government has forced Honda to recall all of these engines so that something can be done about it. This probably won't happen in the United States, unfortunately. The federal government usually only steps in to force companies to do recalls when it's a safety concern. And so far, I haven't really seen anything about this that is a safety issue. I guess you could make the argument, which I'm sure lawyers are doing right now in class action lawsuits, that there is, safety concerns and whatnot. But I don't see the government really stepping in like they did in China here in the United States. For me, this decision made sense because before I went to take my CRV into the service department, I checked out the Blue Book trade-in value for my CRV, and it was actually, I was in a really good position, surprisingly. I figured the value would have already gone down just because of what's going on, but as of right now, right at the end of December here, the trade-in value was still very good on my CRV. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go look at this Pilot. The Pilot was something I wanted in the first place when we bought the CRV. And we thought the CRV would be a cheaper choice, and it was big enough for what we needed at the time. So, yada yada. Went to the dealer. I said, well, let's look at the CRV, or the Pilot. And if we fall in love with it, we'll think about it. Took the CRV in the service department while it was being worked on. We took the Pilot for a test drive. Honestly, it's a lot like the CRV, just a little bit bigger, a little bit smoother ride. We liked it. We liked it a lot. And we didn't realize it at the time, but they were having their end-of-year sale, and the Pilot was like $5,000 off. So when we combined that with the trade-in of the CRV, we actually lowered our monthly payment quite a bit by trading up to the CRV or the Pilot. So honestly, it was a no-brainer in my situation. I got out while I can. I cannot see the value of the CRV remaining what it is once it starts to get out more. it's going to have to take a hit, because once the public becomes aware of all the problems with the CRV, no one's going to want them, and then they're not going to be worth anything. So even when I was at the service department, every vehicle in there was a CRV, and they were all having the same thing done now that this campaign's been started here in Ohio. So like I said, in my case, the right decision for us was to get rid of it. You know, I'm not going to stick around to see what happens in my case. The CRV was a nice vehicle, but, you know, maybe someday down the road when they figure it out, you know, we'll go back to that. But unfortunately, it's kind of the way of the world now. Increasing government pressure and regulations for fuel economy is forcing manufacturers to try to employ all these tricks. A lot of them are these GDI turbo engines, where they're taking really tiny engines and turbocharging them and pushing them to their limit. And, you know, even the start-stop assist, you know, when you come to a stop, all these new cars have it where it shuts the car off, and it's all an effort to try to get better fuel economy. And they're not doing it for the environment, they're doing it because the federal government is telling these manufacturers they have to do it. And it's being rushed, and what's suffering is the longevity of these vehicles and the drivetrains. And who's paying for it? You and me are paying for it. So I took the easy way out in a way. I'm sorry for all of you who have to stick it out with the CRV, especially if your CRV is having problems. Hopefully all of you who are watching this who don't have any problems with your CRV, I genuinely hope it remains that way for you. I was kind of curious to see what would happen, but not on a vehicle I'm paying that much money a month for. So I'm going to start doing a couple of upgrading videos on the Pilot. If you're interested in the new Pilot, I bought an LX model, which is the bottom rung. But they've done a lot of new things with the Pilot that are standard features now, but there's still a few features missing that I would have liked to have, but I just couldn't beat the price. The LX model was the one that had a huge discount on it. So, till next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.